Welcome to Louder Than a Bomb 2014, make some About to go down live and official here at Columbia College. I'm going to jump right into this. How many of y'all have never been in a poetry slam bout before? How many of y'all are telling the truth about that? Just as you're not telling the truth with your fibber. It's not nice to fib. Y'all English kind of dead. We're going to work on this, though. We're going to work on this. My name is Lamar Jordan. I'm your host. Poetry slam is a competition. It was invented, or so we say. It was invented in 1984 by Chicago and Mark Smith. Alright, maybe I hear Mark Smith. I need y'all to respond with a resounding, so what? Alright, let's try that again. It was invented in 1984 by Chicago and Mark Smith. So what? That was very resounding. I love y'all. It was, Louder Than a Bomb was started in 2001 by Anna West and Kevin Coble. It was started to give Chicago youth a place to speak and be heard and to build brave space, right? What started with 12 schools has now blossomed into more than 120. The festival is now a whole month long, and I want to thank you guys for helping this become the largest poetry slam in the entire Milky Way galaxy, right? There's no poetry slam. Right here, so give yourselves a round of applause. Here's how it goes down, right? Poets are scored on a scale of 1 to 10 with 1 decimal point. 1 being the worst poem that has ever been written in the history of anything, right? It is a poem that needs to be destroyed immediately, and it was read by a poet who probably should have stayed asleep this morning. That was really rude. A 10 is a poem that is the most amazing thing any of us has ever heard. It calls for Jesus Christ himself to descend from the heavens with purple unicorns and then come up on the stage and start twerking. And that's a 10, right? It's the best thing any of us has ever seen, and it changes the world right here. We want to hear a lot of 10s, not any ones, right? We drop the low score, drop the high score, those are the middle, those are the scores. We got 4 individual rounds, 1 group piece round, with 4 poets appear on stage at the same time. Blow all of y'all minds in the piece that they wrote together, alright? It's going all the way down. Poems must be less than 3 minutes in time. Can we boo time really quickly? Poems longer than 3 minutes will result in a deduction of score. Louder Than a Bomb is a safe space, a brave space. That being said, there's no racist, homophobic, sexist, gender biased, ageist, ableist, or otherwise derogatory language allowed on the stage, right? Repeat that. No cursing, no racist, no sexist, no homophobic, no ageist, no ableist, or otherwise derogatory language is allowed on the stage. Points will be deducted if any of those rules are broken. Alright? Y'all ready to meet y'all judges? Make some noise from now, because you might not want to make a whole lot of noise from when they start telling you how they feel about these poems. Alright? Your first judge is Emily. Can y'all give it up for Emily? Emily is qualified to be a poetry slam judge because she is snacking on stale goldfish right now, right? That's how much Louder Than a Bomb loves it. Give it up for Emily one more time. The second poetry slam judge is Chris Black. Y'all make some noise for Chris. To be a poetry slam judge because he had trouble waking up. Alright? As did we y'all, it's early, but we listening to poetry. I just dropped my pen. So give it up for Chris one more time. Third poetry slam judge is Lindsay. Can y'all make some noise for Lindsay? Lindsay's qualified to be a poetry slam judge because she has a great new haircut, alright? I'm rocking with it. Make some noise for Lindsay. The fourth poetry slam judge is Nell. Can y'all make some noise for Nell? Judge because being here beats watching the Law and Order marathon. Right? I don't know, Law and Order is pretty cool, but it definitely don't compare to Louder Than a Bomb, so give it up for Nell. The fifth and final poetry slam judge is Howie. Can y'all make some noise for Howie? Howie is qualified to be a poetry slam judge because he is a retired CPS teacher and got a great mustache. Right? noise for DJ Dylan on the ones and twos. Even though he's playing music right now. But we're not going to hold it against him. He's working hard. Make some noise for my beautiful bout staff. Your bout manager is Fatima Oscar. Give it up for her. And your timekeeper, the amazing Rachel's class. Give it up for her. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all are ready to start the poetry slam, say, oh yeah! Oh yeah! Ready to start the poetry slam, say, yeah man! Yeah! Before we get started with the for real, we have something we like to call the sacrificial poet, alright? We need some blood to be shed on the stage. Metaphorically, of course, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to hurt nobody. Everybody feels safe. But some metaphorical blood has to be shed on the stage to get these judges calibrated, to make sure they're ready for this dastardly deed we are asking for them, alright? We call that poet a sacrificial poet. They're not a part of the actual competition at the moment, but they're going to come up, they're going to read a poem, they're going to be scored as if they are. And most importantly, they need all of y'all to be their team because they're representing themselves right now. So give it up for your sacrificial poet from Walter Payton. Make some noise for Reyna Scott. A whole lot of noise for the first one coming to the stage from Saving Nation.
My name is Reyna. I'm from St. Ignatius College Prep. I color coordinate my outfits, so my title of my poem is He in Colors. When I was very young, I was always told to color with my pencils inside the lines, the very lines my mom told me to read between when she said, no, you can't date. When I would talk to her one-on-one, the question of dating always came up, and he seemed to be the only answer at the time, solving my dilemma of being single-handedly handpicked to my group of friends as the only one without a boyfriend. Mom finally gave me the green light, so I turned red every time I came here now. After weeks of going through every shade of pink that the color spectrum had to offer, we were finally together. Now that pink became darker, as red was the only color that was dripping from his fingers after he traced the heart on my cheek and said, I love you. He thought we'd make it through the ripples of time, but he and I suddenly noticed that the waves of love were no longer tsunamis because I started noticing that his actions spoke louder than his words. Like when his milky white knuckles turned sour every time I said her name, the eye rolling he did when I made a reference to Lord of the Rings, the annoyance that filled up his chest when I said I was fat and hot air believed just like his head. Because Jesus Christ, if the amount of arrogance this kid had were measured from 1 to 10, it would have more digits than pi. I began to hate him, he, anything dealing with his definition of we. He altered the colors I changed when he came here because he used to speak rainbows on his silver tongue and wrap me around in a tornado of false compliments, blinding my vision temporarily, but nothing could change the color red that was seen or spoken. I said I never even liked you. My red hot hatred turned black because I learned to hate his jet black hair. It's the only color that he spoke to me. The color that replaced the rainbows, the feeling of being blue, bruised my ego every time he said I had more issues than Vogue, even though he never believed I would be on the cover. But he started telling his friends that I was makeup without any pretty on, how I was a negative number on his happiness scale, how he only wanted to hit it and quit it. But how in the hell are you going to quit something that you're not hitting? He wanted to give me a pencil just so he could talk to me, and now he started asking for his pencils back from last year, and rather than calling me amazing, he started calling me a name that didn't belong outside of a kennel. So I called him out. I didn't mean it, I'm sorry, baby, seemed to be the only thing he could say to my face, so instead I turned around and bent down so he could kiss my ass. Because now when I saw him, I turned green because nothing repulsed me more than his actions and his words. The white noise is all I screamed when I said, it's over. And all I saw was how badly I wanted to chase him out of my life, as if he were wearing a red cape, but if he didn't mess with the bull, he wouldn't have gotten the horns. He was already horny enough. Now that things got rough, he had enough of hearing me telling him everything he did. Nothing could change the fact that he was the one that acted like he was on his period, end of story, done. I didn't need him anymore. What a stupid crayon box had to offer, even though it looks pretty awesome with the built-in sharpener. But I can't lie and say it doesn't hurt. Because his name used to be my favorite, the way waterfalls would stop if he asked them to. Because his voice was like Midas's touch, because whenever you hear it, you froze. The way I talked about it rolled off my tongue as if it were another romantic language. He was romantic the way he used to be. The way he used to be. The way his name would be said, I would instantly look up. Of colors he once made me turn, she makes me do repeatedly. What I wanted with him, she now gives me. She speaks in new colors that I'd never even seen before. Her green eyes filled with hope became one of my favorites because black never existed in her. She didn't have black hair. Her name isn't the same. She doesn't even like Vogue. So, Christian, if you find this, just know that I hope your color pencils break. I will be there to pick you or them up.
Hi, my name is Colleen Ellen. I'm from St. Ignatius, and this piece is called Restless. I am restless energy, one who feels she doesn't inhabit her own body, her own ethnicity, a catalyst for all things creativity. I may be a minimalist, but I'll never be simplicity. I floated along until you came to vibe with me. You are a kaleidoscope, a zoetrope, a vessel of intensities, a one-way ticket into a world of accidents, invitations, and curiosity. Consuming us both because as consumers, the view is the only thing left that's free. Trading our sustainability for so-called liberty, we swallow it whole with wide eyes and shallow breath, let it sit in our stomachs, rotting away from all the caffeine. But soon for you, like most, it was all too much, and your mind faded from rhyme scheme to prose. Like our two minds together were too complex, we set out to find the perfect shape of indigo. You said it didn't exist in nature, and when we did, that scared you. Or how I was going to cook eggs for breakfast, but I smashed their fragile shells with bare hands, sitting on the kitchen table, sketching them for hours with yolks so beautiful. I wanted to mount them on the east kitchen wall to glow with the morning sunrise. But I couldn't do that, because like everything, they'll rot, and for weeks the smell will linger. Lingering like the deconstruction you couldn't take, because with my kaleidoscope mind and your kaleidoscope mind, my infatuation with decay multiplied and festered in your own insecurity, and you began to pull us apart in order to save me. You occupy a state of present, crisp sleeves rolled past a scar on your left wrist. I need you. And then tucking thin strands behind my ears and my hair, with the blood sloshing around my skull, spewing words with singed tongues into the thick evening air, protesting our cataclysmic extinction. But then your feet pushed through my heavy streets, because this ticket is one way, the one I thought led to we. But then our train broke down, I forgot where I belonged. Suddenly I realized that you were driving all along. Shoving me, pleading me, out of my chemistry, nurturing, out of nature, you brought myself back to me. Hi, my name is Liliana. I go to St. Ignatius College Prep. And this poem is entitled Life Support, subtitled For Caitlin. I remember how we used to play. You, me, and Bree, we ran around in childhood bliss, playing as superheroes when one of us would turn out to be the villain. You used to gently hold my head under the water with a smile that was a sin, while I obediently stayed under and tried not to fight it so much for your sake. You used to be the only one that I looked to for opinions, because you were the only one that mattered. For years I used to listen to every word that passed your smirking lips without question. When you asked, I gave you the walls around my heart to protect you from the harsh words and lies that others would tell. And all you did was give it back to me in a pile of rubble, which included my beating muscle as well. All of my trust was wasted on you. I gave you everything you didn't deserve, yet you would still rather go with them than with me when they did to you what you did to me in this vicious cycle that we called friendship. I was only the machine that helped you breathe, and nothing more. And to be honest, sometimes I wish that I'd pulled the plug before you left me hurting to my very core. You had me thinking that there was something wrong with me, rather than something wrong with we or you. You used me. You abused me, taking my innocent sympathy and flossing your vampire teeth with it. After you sucked all the independent tendency from my pallid neck. Pale from when I was struggling with anemia. Even paler when I was this close to getting leukemia and losing more and more blood every day. You didn't care what happened to me when I was in the hospital, wasting my life away. I pushed all my struggles down into a bottle with a cork until the pressure became too great and it exploded all over my arms and my legs and my notebook pages. Inside, I was crawling on bloody hands and knees, still equal to you despite the fact that you could walk. And you did. You walked right out of my life throwing shade like you were the sprawling summer branches of an oak tree. You still see them, not me. And honestly, I don't care anymore. I don't need your life support, and you don't need mine either, because I've learned how to breathe without you. It's over. We're through. I'm so done with you. My baby is not for sale anymore. The woven silk of my security is not for you to buy inch by inch. There is no room for snakes in my life. Thanks for the venom, but I don't need it anymore. I'm done writing poetry about you while crying on my bedroom floor. All thoughts of you are escaping my mind, although I've been holding on to them for a long time. I'm pulling the plug, and I feel fine while I watch my anger for you flatline.
My name is Ceazar. I go to St. and this poem is dedicated to all the fellow poets here because, you know, some people don't realize that it's the things we talk about, sometimes it's really hard to put them into words. It's called After the Show. They call it art. Marveling from their seats, gawking at the strange boy with the silver tongue, they listen. Patiently, without breath. Because even the slightest noise may interrupt his confession, understand. He's down to the bone, giving everything, but they don't know that yet. They call him poet. Don't see much else in him, he doesn't let them. Except through 3-minute windows, these conversations with the audience, their vision is limited. He likes it like that. But sometimes he wonders. He wonders what they must think of him. Wonders if they imagine him in coffee shop corners in the silence of a study, penning out these masterpieces of language art. Words writing to make soulless systems of what stereotypes clung to him, he wonders. But never for long, because after the show, once all the oohs and ahs of the onlookers are past and all the snaps fade away, he remains. If only they knew that before he allows these poems to seal his wounds, he must tear himself open, bear his scars fresh as the day that he was gifted them by the hands of fate. Believe him when he tells you those hands are damn heavy, because he's been there. Existence at the mercy of the invisible, under the thumb of a greater force, one less concerned with the fragile nature of human lives and egos. He knows. If only they knew how real it gets sometimes. But please don't be alarmed, because he's had a good life. It's just that sometimes things fall apart, break before their time, especially people, especially him. And he also knows that he has no reason to speak of these matters because of life he's lived very little, and of his hardships they're nothing compared to others. It's just that sometimes he remembers. He remembers what it was like before. Before the poetry and the spoken word play, there was nothing, only silence, only a chubby kid with a great big smile, cheeks as big as zeppelins, and a smile so wide it was known to fly away at nights, disappear for days, but always find its way back home. He prays to never lose it. And he admits, some nights, to missing the simpler times, back when the best gifts were shiny pennies, the loose pocket change, childlike world values that he clung to, the familiar rattle of sounds and places that he knew. He turns 18 this year. No longer enamored with staying silent, he speaks and writes, provides himself a voice and a goal to lay before. If you should ask, while he splits up his insides on open stages, bears his scars to the spotlight of unfamiliar faces, while he spills his blood weekly for a room full of friends and an audience of strangers he never know properly, he could tell you that he's waiting for an echo in the silence, lending an ear to nothing. He's reaching out, putting forth a hand into the darkness, waiting for someone to take breath, to speak up. He knows someone's out there, even if he can't feel them just yet, even if he can't hear them just yet, he knows someone is out there, in need of a voice. So for now, he'll lend them his. They call him poet. They see everything now, he lets them. Their vision is unlimited, and he wonders how he ever lived in silence.
Big poet. Let's get it. You had one job, Lily.
Is this the world we live in?
Because this world is a monster.
Monster of human design. Cannibalism manifests. manifested.
Made in our own image.
But the image, it was faded.
We were too late to fix our bad, so while trying to save the world we lost what innocence we had, became architects of our own demise.
Transmuted a modern-day Frankenstein, a society built of dead parts that we couldn't resuscitate to life, too concerned with our own egos.
Absorbed in ourselves, we didn't realize that it was less about saving the world and more about controlling it.
Only to grow further with frustration. Didn't see our motivation is the God complex. So everybody run, because it's alive, it's alive.
We're more powerful in our minds while so many try to find a way to pass through the night and to see the day.
Meanwhile, our sanity and securities tear from us. The conscience comes alive at night under sheets, waiting to wake up from this nightmare.
Yet we still debate who shall perish first.
Our minds or our bodies.
Hope or our innocence.
You or me. See, this world we made is toxic. So no wonder we do anything to make our hauntings pass swiftly. Someone please tell us, is this the world we live in?
Where the streets are a dangerous place to wander, for mothers and the fathers, where the deviant or scholar, because everyone turns to bones and flesh and all are equal in the sight of death, and that doesn't matter who you are, these bullets are bisexual, unbiased.
Is this
the world we live in?
Whereby lie the deaths of innocent lives, of whom this monster so destroyed. They committed suicide. See, tough love is tough enough without this world leaving us cold, leaving invisible futures and the bodies of lost souls. Is this the world we live in?
Where conscience
And the flesh must be at war because my body says yes.
My mind says no
I got
more.
the world in my hands.
It's really in control.
Are we living for the moment?
But give a second, lose it all. What happens when the loss of self is the only real end?
What happens when the loss of self is the only real end?
Leaving nothing but the shells, the wasted husks of empty men. These were the ones we used to hold, used to call them by their names, but now their names are set in stone. Rest in peace, your life was short.
But at least I went out in flames. Tell us,
Is this the world we live in?
Because what is purpose when human life flies, soars from the earth into the sky, whether by their own hands or by the hands of someone else?
Only friendly with the cold, because the cold's all we have left. You see, we can't ignore the bells, because we know for whom they toll, for each victim and lost soul.
See, we made a modern-day Frankenstein, a society that hates, gets high off lost innocence. Suicides and murder rates tried to make a world a better place, but it looks like it didn't work.
So back to work. Back to step one. Let's not wait anymore, because this world is a cannibal. Watch it eat itself whole. Someone tell us, is this the world we live in?
This is the world we live in.
This is the world that we deserve.
On point. And that's what it's about, y'all. Y'all gonna hear all throughout the festival, y'all are gonna hear this phrase a bunch. The point is not the point, the point is. But it's also bigger than that, right? Without Liliana Bomb, these poets from Clemente wouldn't have had the chance to meet these poets from St. Ignatius, wouldn't have had the chance to meet these poets from King College Prep, and wouldn't have had the chance to meet the young women from Breakthrough. And it is through things like this that the true power of Louder Than the Bomb is found, right? It's not about the points. To a certain extent, the poems are important, but it only goes so far, right? This work is bridging this city, is bridging these communities, is building community, and it's through efforts like that that we can begin to change this culture, that we can begin to change this city, and that we can begin to change this world. So can we make some noise for the community? So who wants to hear some scores? Who came here to hear some scores? Whatever, we can do without it. But, you know, for the sake of whatever, I guess I gotta read these. From Loda, obviously from Loda. In fourth place, leaving everything they had on the stage, wowing us, moving us, amazing us. Give it up for Breakthrough Urban Ministry. Everything they had on the stage, amazing us, wowing us, moving us all afternoon. Give it up for the poets from Roberto Clemente. Wow. This is a very close bout. The difference between, first of all, the difference between fourth and third was only 4/10 of a point. And the difference between second and first was only 2/10 of a point. So this is a tight bout. Again, there are no losers here. Everybody got their story heard, and that's what it's about. Everybody is winners. But ladies and gentlemen, your second place winner this afternoon, give it up for the poets from Saving Nations. Give it up for Saving Nations. And after they do a winner up to this bout, giving everything they had to the stage, moving up from their stories. Give it up for King Colleen. We got a 2-hour break right now. So this was cool.